Hello, I'm Jim, and welcome to Rallying in America, the Recce podcast. This podcast is an exploration of a rich history, the stories and memories of those who made and make Rallying in America so great. Enjoy the show. Hello. On this week's episode, I welcome Dan Ring of RingSpeed Rally. We talk photography, RallyCross, why everyone should go to rally school, and tips for first-time volunteers. Dan, thanks for coming on the podcast. You're from the Pacific Northwest, aka Washington State, correct?
Yep.
Were you born and raised there?
No, I was actually born in South Dakota. Well, raised in South Dakota, born in Nebraska.
Oh, okay. What brought you out to Washington State?
The job after I got out of college, the shipyard I work at came out there to interview, so decided to move out here and give it a shot.
All right, excellent. You recently attended the Oregon Trail Rally.
Yep, it was a good time.
Yeah, so you're out there doing photography.
Yeah, photography, and I still volunteer for the rallies too. So road marshal and ham operator, and then take photos as well.
Oh, okay, ham operator. That's interesting because I just learned not too long ago, a friend of mine in Charlotte joined a ham radio club and was going to help out with this sandblast rally. And I didn't understand, why would they need a ham radio operator? But then it made sense because you're out somewhere where you may not have cell service. So if you need emergency services or something, you can use the radio. So how long have you been messing around with the ham radios?
A little over a year. After volunteering at the rallies for a while, and being around the ham operators, I figured it was the next step to be a little more involved and sometimes get a little better spot when you're a radio operator.
Oh, okay, excellent. So, what stages were you at this year at Oregon?
I was on Boyd Loop on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dallas Mountain on Saturday, and then Friday at Portland I was just media.
Oh, okay, excellent. So, did you also attend the Olympus rally?
Yes.
So, were you there to do photography, or did you do both the ham radio and the photography?
Same thing. I did both there at Olympus.
Oh, okay, excellent. So, going a little bit back, how'd you get into photography?
It was rally and cars, the Subaru club. There were some friends that did photography a little bit, and then started getting into the RallyCross scene and bought pictures the first race I ran, and then it's like I can do this and get some pictures out there to people. Keep the prices reasonable so people can get pictures.
Right, that's always nice, especially the teams that are putting all they can together and get out there. They don't necessarily have the funds for purchasing images. So now let's talk about RallyCross. So how long have you been doing RallyCross?
This is my third year that I've done at least some level, couple events a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a year before that was out there course working at the winter series that the Northwest Rally Association did at Dirtfish. So 4 events during the winter, and need people out there picking up cones so everybody else can race.
Oh, right.
And then talking to the other rally crossers there is kind of really got the itch going.
Very cool. So what card do you run for RallyCross?
I have a 2002 Subaru WRX.
Oh, very nice. You getting a lot of races in this year for Rallycross?
So this year I've done a couple of workshops so far, and then I'll be racing the big event, the Rallycross Fest at Dirtfish in the end of July. And
Oh,
then
okay.
the rest of the events that are further from home, I can go to media at. So I'll attend all the events, but we only race the ones close to home.
Okay, cool. I didn't know Dirtfish did Rallycross.
It's Northwest Rally Association, but they rent out Dirtfish for that event.
Oh, okay. That's very cool. So they must have a really nice facility there.
Yeah, they have a lot of space there for a lot of cars. That's the big one, 200 plus cars over
Mm-hmm.
a couple of days. So
Very cool. That sounds like a blast. I would love to be able to do that someday. Also, what rally events are you going to attend to for the remaining of the year? What's your schedule looking like?
so far I just attend the two local national ones, and then there's a regional event most years at each place. Olympus has the Tour de Forest in the fall,
Mm-hmm.
and Oregon Trail, they have, well, last year's the first time they had it. Well, the Mike Nagel Rally Sprint.
Okay. Very cool. So I'm
So at
taking.
some point, I'd like to get out and see some of the other national ones, but we'll see when that happens.
Mm-hmm. So do you photograph anything other than rally and rallycross? Do you have any interest or in anything outside of those two?
That's mostly what I do. I mean, I've dabbled in sports a little bit. I have a kid that does football and track, so I've done that a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then a little bit of wildlife, but mostly rallycross and rally keeps me plenty busy with it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm looking at your Instagram page, which is RingSpeed Rally, and it looks like a. Is it a gray fox?
I have to look at it.
Sorry, probably been a while, right?
Yeah,
I feel like a stalker sometimes because I gotta, I
got
talked to
to do your
somebody.
research, right?
What's that?
You got to do your research, right?
Right. Yeah, I got to go through and figure out, everything I can about someone. Sometimes it's a little awkward looking at different pages and stuff. But yeah, yeah, I see a lot of great action shots in your rally photos. And any events that um any stage rally events that really stand out, like something that was just completely amazing, something that you weren't really expecting.
I mean, the first year I went, I went to Olympus first, and Travis Pastrana's out there, which is pretty cool. And you're in the woods and hear the cars coming from far away, and the sound's just amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then later that year, went to Oregon Trail Rally, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can see across the whole countryside, more of these cars and all that. But one of the highlights for sure was last year at the Oregon Trail Rally. I got invited to tag along with the Subaru team through their ambassadors program, and
Oh, excellent.
they picked a few people who had purchased a Subaru within the last 3 years, and I was in one of those, and so that was really cool getting to see how the team runs. Both Semenuk and Pastrana, crashed out of the rally basically in the first day. They
Right, right.
damaged
Remember
the
that.
car, but they brought in the cars and got them back going again. In their 40-minute service or whatever it was. It's just amazing watching that team work and just see how that all goes with them. Um, did actually miss being out there on the stages too during that. I mean, we got to go drive on a couple of them and watch from spectator, but
Oh,
it's a little
awesome.
different when you're right there on the course.
Right. So, any craziness? Um, have you seen any, rollovers or anything? I know the Volvo rolled over
Yeah,
at OTR, right?
yeah, on the Portland stage there, second car out, came through a chicane a little hot there and hopped the curb and went right over, and I was sitting right in front of it shooting. So
Yeah.
That was pretty wild. And what was really cool is to see him back out there racing the next day with plexiglass back windows and finish the rally after starting that way.
Yeah, I mean that's a testament to the safety regulations and what's required. When I saw the footage of that Volvo rolling over, I thought, wow, the damage doesn't look that bad. It looked pretty decent. The next day, and it's pretty amazing they got things back together, and it was fun seeing them go through the Shadowbuck Lake there. I call it, the water feature.
Yeah, that's on the list for me too to get out to that water crossing. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably next year I'll be there.
And a few folks, while watching the live feed on Sunday, someone called it the Rolo Volvo. Volvo. See, I can't even say it. The Rolo Volvo. And I think by Monday, that team started or changed the name of their Instagram account to the Rolo Volvo. So I thought that was kind of neat. They took it all in stride and had some
Yeah,
fun with it.
they did, and they held nothing back after that either.
Oh yeah, it was cool to see, and those stories are great. And in rally, it's one thing I love about rally is how they just so determined to get back up and running and get through at least the next day.
Yeah, and just how good of a community it is, right? If someone needs something, it's all hands on deck. People, looking for that part or helping out wherever they can. Seeing that in Rallycross and Rally too. It's just great group of people to be around.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I've talked a lot about the community and how supportive it is, and especially amongst the teams. Somebody may see another team, kind of struggling, and they'll go over there and offer their help. It is one of the coolest parts of rally is that community.
For sure.
Yeah, it is. So now, do you have any aspirations of driving in stage rally?
I first time I saw it, like, no way, I'm not going to do that. But it would be fun. But at the same time, driving out on some of these stages, looking down the cliffs and whatnot, it's like I'm happy to be here cheering these guys on and supporting them how I can. We'll see if my sons who are into it a little bit see where they go. But
We'll be right back. Power up your ride. Daily driver, bike, or track beast with Melee Design Firm. Since 2018, Melee has been the go-to source for high-performance battery mounts and power solutions trusted by enthusiasts and professionals alike. Whether you're carving corners on the weekend, commuting to work, or chasing podiums, they have the gear to keep you powered and ready. Their lightweight universal battery mounts are engineered for performance, crafted with precision, and designed to handle whatever you throw their way. They don't just make and sell parts, they build confidence under the hood. Rugged, industrial, functional. That's the Melee difference. Join thousands of satisfied drivers who refuse to settle for stock. Upgrade your battery game today. Now back to the show. Yeah, I'm trying to get my son to go to rally school. He'll be 21 next month, and I'm encouraging him to take some classes in driving. And just last week, I'll step back a little bit further. About a month or two ago, he bought a 2011 Crown Victoria Police Interceptor, and it's all black and white. It still has the numbers on it and that from the police department that had it. And we got onto an on-ramp, and it had been raining, but a tractor trailer had dumped like transmission fluid or something all over it. And we ended up spinning. did a 720 across a 2-lane highway, and
Oof.
unfortunately we backed into the guardrail and did some damage to the car. Didn't total it or anything. And I'm thinking, the whole time is like, ah, man, you know, I almost think all new drivers need to have some kind of training outside of how they typically learn how to drive, parallel park and that. That's great. That's fine. But if you're ever in those situations with like rain or snow, I feel like everyone should go to rally school. I feel like I should.
Yeah, it's definitely helps with car control and everything. And I had the pleasure of being able to drive on snowy fields and whatnot growing up in South Dakota. So
Yeah,
riding new to me, but
I grew up in New England, so um, I drove and I kind of learned by riding with my brothers, three older brothers growing up, and they always told me, how to steer when you're, sliding and losing control, and kind of experience some of that with them every once in a while. So, yeah, I'm okay. I do pretty well. I'm now in Pennsylvania. We don't see a whole lot of snow where we are, but yeah, it's still a benefit. Even to get him into RallyCross, I think that would help his everyday skills. I think it would do a good job for everyone almost.
100% in anybody, any field, it's seat time's helpful and just handling dynamics of the car. You learn so much in a fairly short amount of time too.
Yeah, because when we lost control of that, or my son lost control of that Crown Vic, um, I'm like, I said, hey, do you remember putting on the brake at all? Because I feel like you put on the gas a little too much. You need to let off of it. He's like, man, I really don't know. It was such a blur. And that's something I've got to make sure he's conscious of and not to panic, when things are, you're starting to slide the tail around in that. So, yeah, it'd be a great benefit. May I ask how old your kids are?
The oldest one is 23
Okay. Yeah.
and the youngest one is 12.
Oh, okay. So the youngest one has a few years yet to go before getting behind the wheel, getting a driver's license.
Yes, yes, thankfully.
So, what else do you do outside of photography and that for fun? Do you have any other hobbies, or is photography the main thing?
Uh, uh, to be honest, in the last couple of years, it's rally photography and work, and then some kids events in there too. But
Yeah.
there's enough of it to keep you going most of the time. Other than your casual sports viewing and whatnot. Uh,
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of hobbies, maybe too many, but I'm trying to slow down a bit as I get older, and the podcast is forcing me to slow down a little bit. But rally is just so much fun to learn about, and that's why I've said this before, but this is why I started the podcast, is to just learn as much as I can and talk to people about their stories when it comes to rallies and rallying, and great learning experience for me. So I have to ask, you volunteered. You mentioned you had volunteered, and you're volunteering. What are some tips or pointers you can give someone who volunteers for the first time, which I'm going to be doing here for the first time at STPR, which is my local event? You have any pointers for me?
as you're starting, don't be afraid to try all the different positions there. But I would say absolutely go get your ham license. No, no need to wait.
Okay.
Um, even if you're not in one of the ham positions, just being able to listen to the stage control traffic, so you know what's coming. Especially if you're in the woods or
Right.
something like that, you
Mm-hmm.
don't really know what's going on if you don't have the radio. And it's a way to be a little more involved with it. Be prepared for the long day out there, but
Right.
but it's so much fun to be up close to the cars and seeing them go by.
Right. So,
Yeah, and there's stuff you can help out with, depending how much you want to get involved further before. There's stage setup and cleanup, and I do tech inspection frequently, and actually
okay.
help quite a number of test days too for different teams.
Oh, that's interesting. How?
So and I would say, yeah, if we get a chance to volunteer with that ahead of the rally, there's often a shakedown stage, right? So you get to see the cars run more, some of them,
Mhm.
some don't run that much, but just ton of opportunities out there.
Yeah, I just signed up for one day. Now I'm thinking after hearing you, I wonder if I should sign up for a couple more days. Um, it sounds like it'd be fun, and I have a friend who, a couple of friends who got in the ham radio. So I'm going to reach out to him this week and see what they can tell me, and guide me on getting my license. I imagine in the Pacific Northwest, you have to prepare for any kind of weather too if you're out there. So do you carry a raincoat and all kinds of stuff, or?
Yeah, yeah, and I've had seen some pretty wet stages at Olympus. They were a little bit inverted this year. The weather was pretty beautiful for Olympus and colder than normal for Oregon Trail.
Hmm.
Super windy out there. That's a different experience too. Um,
Okay.
Still get, depending on the time of year, it can get super cold at night. I like Olympus is you can go camp at service, right? So you get to see the teams working on their cars, and some of them will be pretty much pulling all-nighters to get their car going again.
Right.
So close to that, and you can go chat with the teams and whatnot.
So that's interesting. You said that if you volunteer, you can camp there. So is that common? You think with rallies? Because I know SCPR allows that as well.
I think it depends on the rally. I don't there's not like dedicated for Oregon Trail rally that I know of either. So
Okay.
Olympus does it. A lot of our rally crosses will do it for the competitors and stuff can camp in the parking lot night before or night after sometimes, depending on the venue. Some are
Okay.
different.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to my volunteering experience coming up. Should be a lot of fun. So hopefully I can find someone. I can stick with someone that I know that can kind of guide me, tell me
Yeah,
if I'm doing something wrong or stupid.
and the volunteer coordinators are super helpful, and the stage captains are knowledgeable too. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, make sure you have a spare tire and all the equipment for that in your car. I've punctured a tire on stage before too, so you might.
That's a good point. That's a great piece of advice there. Because yeah, I've driven down some of those stages, and even the people just going to park and watch a stage, they've popped rocks out and all kinds of stuff, out of the side of the road. I remember having to throw some rocks over to the side so nobody would hit it. So yeah, that's a very good point. I would never have thought of that. So I'll double check
Yeah,
my spare
you'll
is
be
good to
the
go.
stage. All right, you'll be driving the stage after the cars are done too, and to get out of there, right? So it
Yep.
can be pretty torn up there. So
Yeah, that's right.
I have not lifted my car yet, but once it's out of warranty, that'll probably happen. But I have the skid plate under there and everything to help out.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, my Daily's not a very good car, so I might even throw in my good jack or something in the back, um, along with the spare. So very cool. Well, I wish you the best with the RallyCross and continued success with the photographs. They look fantastic. I really enjoy looking at those. Um, a lot of great action shots and so on. It's really good. So again, if anybody wants to check out your Instagram, is RingSpeed Rally. Is it the same for your Facebook page?
Yep, that's Facebook as well. And
Okay.
I have to put another plug in for that too. I
Yeah.
do some fundraising with the photography. There's a Bluebird fund that a rallycross route here started, and basically they give grants to, for safety purposes, new
Mm-hmm.
rally teams, even some of the training seminars for rallycross. So I like to, fundraise with the packages. A lot of them will throw on the extra $5 to donate to that, and just really good thing that it's Aaron Alberta and it's the Bluebird Fund. It's a
Yeah.
really cool cause.
That is awesome. And I've spoken with her, and I hope I can get her on the podcast and talk about the Bluebird Fund because I'd love to help her out as well. But that's very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I've been following the Bluebird Fund, and it's pretty amazing. And her story is pretty amazing too. Her background with the horses and everything. So yeah, I hope to get her on. That'd be fantastic. Well,
Yep.
Dan, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening and coming on to the podcast and chatting a bit. Look forward to talking to you again if we can, and maybe in the off season and see how things went. And
Yeah, that sounds good. And thanks for having me on.
oh, no problem. Anytime you want to come on and talk about the Bluebird Fund or anything, just let me know.
Will do.
All right. All right, Dan. Good night. If you'd like to be on the podcast, you can email me, jim@jimboothdesigns.com, or message me through Facebook at Rallying in America, the Recce Podcast, or Instagram, rallying_in_America. Special thanks to Brady Instruments, pro-grade, handmade, professional fuel hydrometers. Visit bradyinstruments.com for all of your fuel testing needs. Thanks to Toontank and the artist Nuclear Wave for the podcast theme music.